I'll just say, I love this.
I love this too.
Fucking life, okay?
Welcome back to Everyone is the Asshole with Adrienne and Amy. This is part 3 of our 3-part reaction to the Necessary Conversations Leaving MAGA episode with Rich Logis. At this point, the cracks are showing. The off-ramp is still missing, and Mary Lou may finally be realizing she has gotten herself into one hell of a pickle.
This is a pitch. I think you and I actually would love to come on the podcast and talk to Mary Lou.
Mary Lou, I think I understand what you need. You need to be respected. You need your dignity.
Yeah.
You need to let Chad and Haley quietly let you disappear from MAGA and never mention it. I know that's what you need.
I don't know you, Mary Lou. I am a fan.
We want to.
I do want to know you, Mary Lou. She reminds me of my mom, and I think maybe like different ways of, I think she really loves her kids. It feels to me like being a mom is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing in her life. With my mom, I think now I've changed a lot of the ways that I interact with her, but for a while, I think she was interpreting my challenges as me saying, you're a bad mom. Yes. And that's not what I meant. I think my mom's a wonderful mom. I'm obsessed with her, honestly. Probably like I care too much about what she thinks, maybe. Because a lot of this, I feel like, is like communicating past each other rather than with each other, right?
But in Chad and Haley's defense,
of course,
Chad has done a really good job of, he'll preface with,
oh yeah,
you guys in childhood made this so wonderful, and
yes.
He does it, like, to me, the textbook perfect way, and yet still.
I agree. I've seen him done that as well. And it's very oldest child, because I'm also the oldest child, and to like try to soften it, try to preface it and be like, look, we turned out awesome. We had a great life. Thank you. We are grateful. And we love you. And
there can be no nuance.
No. I do see him and at times reacting to, I think, what he sees his mom getting her feelings hurt or something, and he will like stop and be like, Mom, I love you, you're a great mom. But and also, it doesn't matter how much you do that sometimes. Like with these boomer parents, like,
you can't win. You're bringing it up. That's the sin.
That's right. And I think, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't do this podcast. I love it. I think it's so important. I think it's helped me in so many ways.
Selfishly, I want them to continue
Selfishly,
forever.
I want them to never stop. And also, as you have said, I think it will take someone on the outside. But I don't think that they should stop doing the podcast. I think it's an expression of love. And I can see that. You know what I mean?
The most likely outcome is she's going to stop being MAGA, but it's not going to be like eventful. She's not going to say anything. It's going to be slow but surely. It's not going to be because of them. They're never going to have this conversation. It might be on her own or with someone that is a deflector, but I don't think this is the apples to apple deflector that she needs. I think it's probably more effective if like she found that person on her own.
Ooh, interesting. But would she look? You know what I mean? Like, also we have to remind ourselves that really this was so Chad and Haley could have a relationship with their parents again. So maybe that's really the number one goal. I mean, they're doing great. I love everything they're doing. In terms of, for you and I, you know, we're invested in pulling people out as they are. You know, we've just been, as we've said before, like strategically, how is that actually going to happen? This is still fulfilling that primary goal of creating that connection in their family again, reconnecting and being a part of each other's lives. So that's incredible. And honestly, they're doing amazing. I mean, you don't get a shout out from Hunter Biden or anything.
I never expected her to get this far. Like, honestly.
They've done such a good job. The episode we were talking about the cyanide bombs, for it's so nasty. And, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's this seed of evil and nastiness and like lack of empathy. And I don't think Mary Lou, but I think the apparatus and the seed of the philosophy of MAGA. And I think that's what the kids are trying to show her, is that she is not on board with this evil seed that begets everything that they do, right? If she were to just look at that evil seed, and I think that the cyanide bomb did make some
It did. What's crazy is like, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, right.
Like, what else, dog?
And the thing is, they ask her that all the time, and she keeps moving the goalposts. I mean, she really does. What more proof do you need, Mary Lou? Come on. They're in control of all the real proof, okay?
We can't even agree that the reflecting pool wasn't vandalized. Right. Mary Lou needs to say is, listen, guys, I understand what you're trying to do.
Yeah, right.
But do you see what kind of pickle I've got myself into?
I'm in a pickle, guy. Okay, let's do a role play. Let's do a situation. And
who am I?
The facts, circumstances, and you tell me what you think is the right thing to do in that situation. And
Love
not
this.
give anybody, not be like, Trump says this and but just like, as Mary Lou, just from your gut, what do you think about this? And I bet if you were able to really suck like the political language out of how you describe it, that you could give her a situation and she would actually give an answer, and then you could be like, okay, okay. So the Trump administration recently had this situation and they did this, and then just move on and talk about something else. And so she starts seeing like, wait a minute, like I'm actually way farther from giving her an opportunity in this space to see the horror in it without the politicized setup.
100%.
Because the politicized setup puts her, she's already knows what she's going to say and where she's going to go. Because I don't think she's a bad person. I think that if you gave her some situations that were devoid of that right and left language, that she would probably disagree with a lot of them. I think that part of the brilliance of Hassan and others of his ilk is that I don't want to talk to you about trans people. I want to talk to you about the living wage and the whole thing of a rising tide lifts all boats, bruh. Let's talk about what you're struggling with, what you are being impacted. You're being impacted by the price of gas. You're being impacted by the fact that nobody can afford to buy a home. That's what is impacting you.
Do you want us to focus on making your healthcare better or banning all transgenders? You can only pick one. Go ahead.
And the Democrats played into it because the
I know.
Democratic Party doesn't want universal health care because they get donations from Aetna and Blue Cross Blue Shield. Because when you start focusing on affordability, also people are going to be less upset and angry and pointing fingers and trying to find somebody to blame because their life is going to be better. They're going to have what they need to have a safe, happy, healthy life with the family that they love. The Democrats, they're going back to the center, Adrienne. What the fuck?
They've always been there.
I hate them.
And that is why we are introducing our campaign for president
That's right.
and vice president. We're both old
No,
enough.
you're going to be president and I'm going to be your chief of staff.
Oh, so now I got to find a VP to run with?
I guess I could be a VP.
Okay, fine. Mary Lou!
Mary Lou could be like the Department of Agriculture or the EPA.
Yeah, I don't think.
Not yet.
I don't want him locked up.
But answer the question. Do you think that the things he's saying are lies?
No. Some
Okay.
maybe yes, some maybe not. I don't trust him
Hassan's
100%.
lying to her.
Okay. Interesting. But you trust Trump and whatever Smokey Joe on Newsmax, you trust them 100%.
Smoky Joe.
Yep.
Like at the very least, in terms of media, like you have to be aware of the fact that all of these, whether it's Hassan Piker or Newsmax, they are for profit. Whatever they're doing
Yes,
is to
yes.
make money. And the way they make money is by getting more people to watch their stuff longer.
Right.
That's it. It's like, how long is an eyeball on the screen with me on it?
And
I
is
make
this
your money.
true? I saw something like where Megyn Kelly flipped because they gave her a whole bunch of money, so now she's anti-Trump, Is that stuff true?
Well, I mean, he personally insulted her.
No, Mary Lou, it's not true, actually. She made a calculated decision,
Yeah, that's
as
right.
Tucker Carlson did when
Yep,
they
to make
saw
money,
the trajectory.
to get
Yes.
power. Can't trust any of them.
Chad rightfully brings up when years ago Trump insulted her on the stage while she was moderating a
Right?
debate.
Think she was
which,
bleeding out of everywhere.
Which didn't make her leave him. I think they got in a spat for a second and she came groveling back.
I have no respect
That's
for
what
the
kind of
women.
character that is.
I have no respect for the women on the right. They're so
None.
They're gender traitors.
Yet she still is so hot.
Whatever that was, the debate where he was like, she's bleeding out of her, you know what?
Oh, gosh.
I think that probably sent her on the path of like, fuck this guy. Whether that was going to be public or not, eventually it was. But I think at that moment she was probably like, I'm not down with this. I'm just saying, everybody who makes any kind of news media is doing it for profit. And so they are incentivized to keep you watching, whatever that means. In a case like Son Piker, he's independent. So he's not beholden to like a giant corporate greed machine who pays his checks. So he gets to kind of say whatever the fuck he wants. And he finds an audience that resonates with that or resonates with what he's saying. And that's enough for him to maintain that audience, make his money, whatever. So I don't know, if you want to say what he's saying is true or not, it's kind of irrelevant. It's more just about he can do what.
Again, saying everyone is wrong. No, don't trust anything.
I mean, and that is dangerous, I think, because it's more like understand their incentives and don't just swallow what they say like a fucking mindless zombie, dude.
Which is the real lesson here.
Skills.
He does without being hampered by a like giant network or studio who owns his media company saying this is what you're going to say.
Okay.
CNN, MSNBC, Newsmax, Fox, all the big cable news networks, the people who are saying stuff to you are told what to say, or in broad terms at the very least, if not specifically like talking points. I'm sure you've seen, or maybe you haven't. There are these videos that always get compiled every couple months when a new big like Republican talking point comes out, where they will put in a giant grid every local news network that is right-leaning, and they're saying the exact same phrase in whatever capacity it may be. They're getting those talking points from the Republican Party.
The terrifying thing is the local news.
Do you remember when that Sinclair, that was such a devastating, and that kind of goes to show like how long this has been in play.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about
one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
Well, have you seen Cheney or whatever that movie is about Dick Cheney, where Christian Bale is Dick Cheney?
Yeah, the one about Iraq.
Well, the thing is, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I think most people didn't, but he pushed through a piece of legislation that made it so
It was good,
bad.
right? It was good for the people?
No. Essentially, it was that news didn't have to be, like, news could be more like entertainment as opposed to have
Cheney
to have
did that?
verifiable. Cheney did it, yeah.
That doesn't sound like my Cheney. He was more of the warmonger type.
I might be making this up. I'll send you something that you can
I'll
drop
have
in.
to, yeah, send me.
Or you can say Amy was
it.
fully wrong.
I mean, he
I'm
was
open
a
to being
diabolical
wrong.
person, but I didn't think he messed around
No,
with
I
the
think he was
news.
like that diabolical. But also, this is another difference. I'm open to being wrong.
Sorry to bring facts into whatever this was, but the verdict is misleading, leaning mostly false. Amy was remembering the Fairness Doctrine, an FCC policy requiring broadcasters to cover controversial issues and allow opposing viewpoints. In 1987, Reagan vetoed a bill that would have made it law, and the FCC stopped enforcing it. Amy's mistake was saying Cheney passed legislation letting news become entertainment instead of being verifiable. The doctrine was never a truth in news law, and there's little evidence Cheney personally ended it. But Vice does portray Cheney as helping block an override of Reagan's veto, which is almost certainly where she got the memory, even though that scene appears dramatized. So wrong details, surprisingly accurate source, and full credit for immediately being open to correction.
I think that is a big difference. I think we both feel like learning something new, that it might be humiliating or hard to hear that we're wrong, but we've both done it and come out better on the other side.
Absolutely.
And you can too.
You can do it, Mary Lou. You sweet.
Y'all all can't, because obviously we're in this pickle, but some of you can.
Some of you can. Some of you can. Some of you won't.
To get on channels that I watch, or to get like on Instagram and just start doing liberal stuff, Republican stuff, everything, to see what comes into my feed. What's my homework?
She's asking for her homework.
Yeah, this is the best you can ask for, and this
100.
after they have just like pissed all over her, like, sports fan. She's wearing the hat. They've essentially said the entire time, your team is diabolical. They've lied to you. You're dumb.
You're an idiot.
You really should leave. Here's this person that left.
Yeah.
And she's still like, well, what's my homework to get this way?
Do you think Bob is going to ask for his homework?
Bob being gone is the only reason this is happening.
Not to say I'm very sad for their family for this, but it has definitely been the
silver lining.
Yeah, that's the silver lining, right?
I would say both of those things. Well, sorry, Rich, you're going to say something?
I was going to say both. Exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just see what happens. I watch Newsmax every day for you because I'm like, I want to see what these fucking maniacs are saying and how they're delivering this information. And it's like, the thing about Newsmax that blows my mind is like, not only are the anchors of all their shows just saying the wildest shit, like it's so far beyond Fox, but even in the presentation of it, like the technical presentation of that channel, it is so low bar. Like there'll always be typos and misspellings in the news crawl. The news crawl usually has about like 5 items that are just on repeat. They don't update it in a 24 hours cycle.
This is so true of right-wing media.
It's just like so poorly done. And you're watching it and you're like, not only are they saying crazy shit, it's like, who's running this network? Fifth
That's
graders?
your opinion, but that's okay.
Those are not my opinions. Technically, it's terrible.
Okay. I've got home.
I mean, let's take a second to think about right-wing comedians.
Not funny, dude. It's not funny.
Like everything they try to do in the arts.
That's a really good point. Creative and artistic people that make art that we all are drawn to and want to consume.
Who are they?
They're not fucking right-wing, bro.
No.
They're not.
You got Kid Rock.
What is the moment that if you have identified this, that a MAGA person is like receptive to getting out of it?
We talk at we have support groups that we do every Tuesday night, which are designed for friends and relatives of MAGA identified close ones. And something that we talk a lot about in these support groups is to encourage people to relieve themselves of the pressures of feeling like they can change another person. Because we believe that you can't change another person, that the change must come from within, from the individual. But what people who have MAGA...
Maybe that's everything. Maybe the support groups just need to be for the affected members, not the MAGA people.
Right.
Like, just like how to cope and deal with it.
Basically like an Al-Anon, which is like family members that are alcoholics. Yikes.
To no success. But I'm asking them to do it one more time, which is to go to MAGA friends and relatives and say to them, if you ever have doubts, if you're confused, if you're questioning your belief system, you can turn to me as a friendly ear for counsel. And if people feel that they can if people in MAGA feel that they can turn to their friends and relatives, sans the fear of recrimination or ostracization or judgment or shaming or shunning, it makes it more likely that the person in MAGA will turn to their close friends or their loved ones. And that's why we talk at our support groups about nonviolent language and also how to better navigate these relationships. I don't believe that relationships with those in MAGA and their close ones are lost and are hopeless. I think the good person deep down who was in MAGA, who may have become a hateful person, a rageful person, addicted to it, that good person is still there. But it has to be, the relationship has to move at the pace of the person in MAGA. So if those who are out there who are hearing this, who've got the MAGA friends and relatives, extend another olive branch, reach back out, ask them, or make clear to them
of what they did. Not opposite,
Also, the premise of what he is saying, that she is like delusional and needs help.
Look at her face.
I kind of get it.
I do too. They're talking about you and not to you.
It's embarrassing.
Well,
I'm embarrassed for her.
They're not engaging with you. They're talking about you in front of your face.
And in their defense, again, I don't think they realize this at all. Because they're right. And I don't think that this was inappropriate.
They're right. They're correct. They are right. They're on the right side. Is it working on Mary Lou? No.
Right. Like, they might as well have just done the truth bomb. Like, you're such a fool. They would have got more satisfaction. I'm just kidding. This is perfect.
That if they ever start to question this, if there's one lie or one betrayal too many, if they reach a red line, they can turn to them for counsel, and they can turn to them to have these conversations. And I think that those who do that out there with MAGA friends and relatives, many of them will pleasantly discover that their MAGA friends and relatives are in fact starting to have doubts, because I think more than ever are privately questioning their allegiance to Trump and the MAGA movement.
Well, I have one more question, actually. Trump is very clearly declining in health. He's getting older. I think soon we are probably going to be living in a post-Trump world.
I love this.
And I mean that he's going to die. Not just be out of politics, but that he will no longer be with us on this mortal earth. What do you think MAGA will be like post-Trump?
I think MAGA survives. And the reason I think that is because there are two parties in our country right now, the Democratic Party and the MAGA Party. When I was in MAGA, it was a fantasy of ours to kill off the GOP and transform it into a MAGA party. And whomever it is who assumes the mantle of the MAGA titular leader, I don't know who that will be. I think MAGA might slightly weaken without Trump on the political scene, but I think MAGA remains. And the opportunity for us will be that if in fact MAGA, though it might stay, I believe it will stay with us, even though it might weaken, that's an opportunity for us to catch millions of people before they get subsumed into whatever the next iteration of right-wing politics might be, whether it's America First or, technocracy, something similar to that. I think that, yes, MAGA will stay, but there are going to be lots of MAGA Americans who are...
That's happening now.
A tech bro future or Christian nationalist future?
They are becoming so entwined with the power structures in the
They're at the G7.
They're at the G7.
The table.
Literally, like, why are they there? They're not represented.
They went to China. This is underreported. I think they're talking about our currency and making deals.
What do you think about these guys, like, being at a table in China at the G7? Because, like, we didn't elect them.
You asked her?
No, I want to.
I'll
put that on my. There's a lot of things I want to ask her.
Yeah.
But I have to figure out, because the other thing is I can't just start sending her videos. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know.
So hard.
So again, I empathize a lot with Chad and Haley. For example, I was at home gonna go to a family member's wedding. I was literally hemming my mom's dress while she had it on, and we were talking about Trump derangement syndrome. And I thought Trump derangement syndrome meant that people were so obsessed with Trump or in the cult of Trump that they were deranged into believing anything that he did was right. And no, it's the opposite. It's so crazy that they can't see that. You know what? Whatever. But like, we were talking about that, and I just couldn't help myself. You know, like so I empathize, and I was like,
yes.
Did you vote for him? And she said, yes, I did, and I would do it again. And I immediately said,
oh, couldn't you say yes?
No, yes, not only just yes, but yes, and I would do it again. And my response was, first of all, I got very emotionally heated. I got very emotionally activated. So I'm very empathetic to children talking to their parents. Well, what I said then was,
We're gonna have to cut that out for the listener, but know that she gave it to her mom raw.
I gave it to my mom.
And what would you say now?
Now I think I would be like, can you give me some examples of what you think he's doing well?
That's what I keep waiting for with Mary Lou, because she said a couple times, like, well, next week I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna bring in things he's been doing well.
She never does it. Because there is nothing he's doing well.
Right. I'm still in a petty thing. I would answer your mom with, oh, I'm super glad you're so confident about that.
Like,
and
wow, I
can't wait to remind you for the rest of your life how confident you
are. Or like,
wow,
I'm surprised that you would admit that out loud.
Yeah, yikes, Mom. I won't tell anyone, I promise.
So you know how I'm doing the Spanish translation text now, because I am doing that on all my text threads now. And so my family thread can see that I'm texting in Spanish, but it's coming across in English. And they, of course, commented on it. And my mom then responded with something. I was like, what is that? That makes no sense. It's gobbledygook. It's probably an accident, because boomers infamously cannot understand or use technology. And then later, when nobody responded to it, she said, I'm trying to learn Hebrew. What? Well, she's a troll, dude. I mean,
that is trolling on so many levels.
He did it to the whole family thread, not just me. The whole family thread.
She's making fun of you for learning Spanish, because that's hilarious.
I didn't even think about that. Damn.
Oh, I took it both ways.
You're right. She is kind of like poking at me. Well, and when I got home, I was wearing my Mexican jersey because the Mexico team was playing in the World Cup, and Viva Mexico, obviously. And she was like, what are you, Mexican now? You're not American anymore? You're just fully a Mexican now? And I'm like, first of all, I wish. Second of all, Mexican people would probably take much offense to that because I'm a gringa down here. But, like, you know what I mean? Like that.
She's picking at you. So I think your lesson of just...
I'm a gray rock. I learned that from you. I'm trying to gray rock a little bit. I told you I have the best relationship with her I probably had my whole life.
Still trolling you?
Yeah, and she's still trolling me. Okay. She still trolls everybody, dude. She loves a little... I almost feel like it's a compulsion. I almost feel like she doesn't realize she's doing it. You know what I mean?
It's a little bully mentality.
I don't know, but that is what happens. But now that I'm a gray rock, everybody's loving me. I love my family so fucking much. My mom and my brother can dish it out.
Cut that.
Cannot take it. They cannot take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When you said I love you, I said cut that.
They'll never
Cut
watch
it out.
this.
Only the bad parts about our family.
We're going to be at a crossroads. We need to give them an outlet and an off ramp, and that's what I'm hoping that we can provide for them. Is that exit ramp out of MAGA?
Well, yeah, I'm curious. We'll see. I think it will weaken substantially too. I personally don't think anybody currently in the Republican scene has the same juice that Trump does, and I don't know if they can hold MAGA together in the same way. But time will tell.
You're wrong, dude.
Yeah.
Like, Trump didn't create millions of people.
No.
He didn't wish them into existence.
No.
They were all already there. All he did was take away their shame and uncover it to the world.
He made it okay to say the most diabolical shit out loud.
That is not going back in the bottle.
No.
That is out for good.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm actually way more scared of JD Vance.
Dude,
like,
fuck
he
that
is
fucker.
diabolical. At least Trump, like, honestly, like, a lot of his greed is keeping him busy.
That's true.
Mom, Haley, any last questions for Rich?
I don't know. It's a lot of shit to unpack.
I'll do my homework.
I feel like I have 1,000 questions. I don't know. Like this, like you mentioned, losing a second family. So like you literally fucking lost your whole life to MAGA.
MAGA was my life and my obsession. Forget about taking a day off from MAGA. I never took an hour off from it. And I believed I was this patriotic soldier in this good versus evil political battle. You know, we as humans, we are enamored with stories. It's how we understand the world. And the story that MAGA presents is that there's good and that there's evil, and that anyone who's not with MAGA is evil. And I came to reject and shun that.
Did you grow up religious at all?
I am Catholic, not the most religious Catholic. My wife does not like this joke. I always say that I'm an excommunicated Catholic, but even when I was in MAGA, I wasn't that religious. So I didn't go through a religious deconstruction, but there are many in our community who did go through a religious deconstruction. There's one lady I'm thinking of, Stefania. Her entree into MAGA was through her Christian Nationalist Church. We have another lady, Jenny.
I did before I knew I was going through it. I just don't think I was ever reconstructed in it properly.
No, that's... Well, and also I remembered what he said that made me be like, and now I forgot it again.
Who not only left MAGA, but left behind Mormonism. And if I could add, Mary Lou, just a little bit more homework, I would really encourage you to take some time and read some of the testimonials at our website at leavingmaga.org of people who left MAGA. I think you'll see some of yourself in these stories, but I think you'll also find them very eye-opening, enlightening, and maybe even inspirational. Okay. So I would really ask that you maybe take some time and dig deep into those stories, which you can get at our website.
Open at the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you, Rich, for coming on here and talking with us. This has been very interesting. Everybody out there, please check out leavingmaga.org. You can find them on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere, YouTube, everything. I do think what you're doing is like, it's a crucial thing that has to happen. There has to be like a kind of public acceptance that many people are leaving this. Many people are turning against Trump. And I feel like once that gets big enough, it becomes a little more socially acceptable for people to leave it behind, et cetera, and it snowballs a little bit. But thank you again for joining us, and everybody go check out leavingmaga.org.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thank you for
everybody.
your time. Thank you for your time.
My
You
pleasure.
didn't hammer me down like I thought you were going to hammer me down or something. You didn't. I appreciate it.
And before...
Boom. I thought that was telling too.
At the end, yeah.
She says, thank you for not hammering me down, which just knowing who he is, I didn't think that was ever a possibility, but that is... She's showing her fear. She's telling you, like,
That's right.
what she's scared of.
You're exactly
And
right.
she says that multiple times, like, you guys hammered me today. Or you can, like, physically tell when she's getting tired because of having to combat too much.
This guy, Rich, all respect to this man, he said, it is not in human nature to publicly apologize and admit. And I don't think that's right. I don't think human nature is what keeps us from doing that. I think it is what we are fed and told and socialized to become, because there are many examples of societies in the past, in particular different smaller indigenous communities that had robust accountability frameworks that were open and welcoming, and you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be. And so I think that actually this fear of admitting that you're wrong is not human. It's what we were taught. We were taught that defensiveness, and that in fact, humanity is at its very basic kernel, seed, whatever, is a communal species. We can literally not live without each other, and yet the United States pushes this rugged individualism that is in fact so incredibly corrosive to not only the species but to us as individuals, because we become atomized, lonely, alienated, and that's a lot of that. Those feelings are what create resentment and what create all these things. That's what I think. I don't think that humans are inherently bad at taking accountability and apologizing. I think that is a mischaracterization, in my opinion.
Well, that is just the truth. But Amy, is that persuadable?
No, probably not. It's not. I don't think it's very persuasive.
But that's it is really hard for us as humans to take accountability.
Now it is for sure. Yeah.
So don't feel so bad that this is hard.
We're at something that is, I think, actually very interesting about the human psychology as we have evolved as a species, where
it hasn't been for the better.
No, it's for the worse for sure. This fear of growing, this fear of being like, oh, what's wrong? This is
self-reflection.
Like, it's actually much better, even for the individual, to be able to, and I wasn't always this way. This was part of the growth that I had to do and the change that I had to do, because I was very defensive. Many friends and family members will tell you that. But like, understanding that if being wrong about something doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean that you're an idiot. And in fact, I think one of the signs of real intelligence is being able to say, wow, I got that wrong.
That on a bumper sticker.
I think that's too.
Market it. If we need like a worldwide campaign of like, you're a real man.
You're a real man. A real man can admit when he's wrong. It doesn't seem like it's working though.
No, it's working. Like, I think about that all the time with like women. I see so many women think that the men that are actually so hot are the ones that are like the vulnerable ones that actually, and they're salivating over these men. And I'm like, incels, this is what
all you have to do is like not have yourself, not be entitled, not feel entitled to another person's time or affection.
I mean, I can't with that. Like, all of these stories, I really am having a hard time with when something comes back around. And the stories change, like COVID, them trying to like, they want to lock Fauci up. And in January 6th, like they cannot take being wrong so much that they are fabricating stories from years ago so they don't have to feel embarrassed.
That's right. I saw Tucker Carlson the other day being interviewed by like, I guess it was somebody from the New York Times. And they were like, on a recent show, you said that Donald Trump might be the Antichrist. And he was like, I never said that. And then they literally played the clip and he said like exactly that. But I mean, I guess what's crazy to me is that they're so shameless. Everything nowadays is recorded that you say. So
it doesn't matter.
They don't care. They don't care. They'll just say no.
What are we supposed to do now?
I don't know, dude. It feels crazy to live in a reality where reality doesn't seem to exist.
I think Tucker's I think there's different characters. Like, I think Tucker knew right there, he's probably laughing inside. Like, I'm going to lie to this bitch's face right now. And all of my followers are going to stick with me. No one's going to fucking care. And it's the grift.
The grift is strong.
And also, there is something, especially about like Trump psychology, is when he goes out there and says like the sky is green,
right?
He is doing, a lot of times he's doing it a point. There's a point because he needs to know who's going to follow
the sky
him.
Is green, you know. I mean, he knows the sky isn't green.
But if you, Amy, his ambassador or something, come out there and go get interviewed and say, you heard that, man, the sky is green. Then now he looks at you like, this bitch just humiliated herself lying for me. He gets a hit off of that. And then you're kind of stuck with him because you've already done it. Yeah, that's what he does.
Women with Mary Lou, I'm like, and I know Chad and Haley have already brought this to her, but like, who has been fired? Who has had to take accountability in this man's administration? It's not been the men.
It doesn't matter what he does. It's just her timeline to leave.
That's right.
Like, it could come out tomorrow. There's a videotape with him and the entire beauty pageant. And like, I don't think that would matter at all.
Because she's like, it's AI or it's a scheme.
It's just a matter of when she wants to. And I think that's probably with a lot of the MAGA people. Like, he can do amazing things or terrible things. It's just really going to depend on when they're ready to leave the cult.
He said, I could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue.
Amy, I think that was wrong. I think he lied there because I think he can shoot everyone on Fifth Avenue.
Oh my God.
and everyone in the city, and still he would have the support. I think that was like the truest thing he ever said.
I wonder if that would work on Mary Lou. If it would be more like,
if he shot her on Fifth Avenue, that might be the only thing.
But if it was like, Trump is saying that he could do anything he wanted and it wouldn't matter. Like, do you think that Trump, like, could Trump basically just control anything that you think and anything that you do? Because those people there is a pride. Like you were saying, the dignity and the pride. And so if you set it up, maybe, I don't know if it would work, but set it up as if like, so Trump is saying that he could do literally anything and you wouldn't care. Is that true? Like,
he told you to walk off the cliff. Are you on your way?
There it is. He told you to walk off a cliff. Are you on your way?
Then I think she'd say, no.
But maybe it would make her think.
But she gets to say, no, I wouldn't.
And maybe, but what's happening when she logs off and she's in her bed that night?
Amy, this is where when I think about these things or get any hope, I like to think back to a little time called the Pandy.
God,
remember the Pandy? Remember
it.
COVID-19 and people in such denial that it was a hoax, that they sat there.
Oh my God.
And they died. In their hospital beds, begging for the vaccine while still denying its existence. So I think if you have any hope, if you have any hope.
How were they able to create the largest, most successful cult?
We're primed for it. I think it's been in the making. I think there was really great additions like Mr. Obama, who just really ignited everything. But
everybody's just racist at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's just white supremacy, isn't it?
Yeah.
White supremacy and capitalism.
And the accountability thing, I mean, again, do we need to go back to last week's episode of our founding, where the first of the accountability that was never taken, that compounded, so it kind of teaches you do the worst imaginable things, do not take responsibility for it, and scapegoat anyone that wants to bring it up.
It's actually sort of, maybe this is like, I'm thinking about this as for maybe like a horror story or something, but like,
we don't need them, girl. We are living
out the reality. But like this idea of like refusing to acknowledge and apologize and take accountability, and how over time it just bends you and twists you into something so unrecognizable that, you know what I mean? Like if you don't expel that evil, then that evil takes over and you are indistinguishable from it.
I think it shows up in family systems, even Chad and Haley with how their parents were a little heavy-handed and they were younger, and like that's still such a...
And the parents won't
they can't get over it.
They did it, which is really like the gaslighting, the level of gaslighting. So I gotta say to Haley and Chad, like, I'm so sorry. That's fucked up.
Because it's a second time. It's a second
trauma.
wound.
It's a second wound, like you said. That's right. That's exactly what it is.
But then it goes back to it's not fair. But like, I don't think Mary Lou can physically like.
I agree.
That would
think it would be
destroy
too
her.
much. It would be too much to acknowledge that she beat her kids.
Yeah, I think the bottom line is we have a generation of baby birds that we are now having to coddle if we want any sort of change.
Honestly, millennials are the real, like, parents are the real, and because I don't think Gen Z is, you know, in the way that we are.
Well, Gen Z's, they're not, I think they helped us along. I think Gen Z was like, y'all need to fucking take your glasses off and
they were like,
see
stop
this clearly.
Accepting this bullshit. Like, you
I credit
for
Gen
more.
Z.
So that's true. That they were like, why are you just saying that you'll take whatever you're given? Like, that's not, you don't have to do that. And other than that, I think,
I blame the Gen Xers for not wrangling and the boomers.
Yeah, the Gen Xers, I think they're like even more conservative than the boomers.
They are. There's this show that they grew up with, but this is how like culture can change an entire generation. But he was like the kind of stuck up little Republican, like a little kid wearing a tie or something like that, and that like changed their generation and flipped it into like not the you know, free-loving
What was it?
70s.
Was it Young Sheldon?
Like that, but not sure if that was...
No, that's I think that's pretty recent.
That was going on. But, yeah.
No, but I think you're right. They, like, what happened to them?
I don't know. But their Gen Z's not gonna have any kids.
Nope. They're not drinking. They're not having kids. They can't buy a home.
And you think surely they'll see, but it's like, no, they don't want to work. They're getting $24 lunches.
I cannot.
So
also the like
same story.
The quiet quitting thing. Remember when that came out? I was like, "Fuck you guys." No,
man.
yes, of course. But calling it quiet quitting is crazy.
Yeah.
They were literally just doing what they were paid for and not more work without being paid.
Because the whole individual ruggedness or individualism.
It's a poison pill, man.
And we've been so trained to like climb up that ladder, and like I feel so stupid.
I feel so fucking stupid sometimes, but I'm at least glad that I saw the light before it was like, oh my God, I'm 65 and I've done nothing in my life other than create value for corporations. Like, what the fuck kind of a life is that?
I wonder why there's like an epidemic of men struggling with retirement, not knowing what to do. Like, you mean you spent your entire life with your identity on like your work and now you've nothing?
You have no idea who you are or what you care about, like, or your emotions or anything. Like, wow, bro.
And guess what you're probably gonna do? Depend on your millennial children to entertain you and take care of you now.
Try to bring you back from listen.
Like you're retired too.
You matter more than just the work that you do. In fact, like they tricked us into doing that for them.
Like I internalized it that I must be depressed because I remember saying out loud like, okay, I have this job. It's a good label, making good money.
Same here, girl.
So what am I supposed to like want to get a promotion and then I've got to do more work and then I'll get more money, but this is enough now. I don't need more.
Right.
And that's my goal in life to like, I don't want to do that.
No. And the only people, and it's not even people, the only entities that are benefiting from that are these mega corporations who literally just have like, even the C-suite changes, you know what I mean? It's like this behemoth that isn't even a living, breathing thing that somehow has the same rights to contribute.
No. More rights.
More, thank you. Way more rights, in fact. Like the one person, one vote was never real, but now it's like such a fucking joke. You know what I mean?
When's the revolution gonna start?
Honestly, like...
Mary Lou, we need you!
Mary Lou, come!
Let's go save the horses, save the butterflies.
That's right, save the monarchs, save the caballos.
We'll pick up Hassan on the way. This is a caravan from heaven.
Imagine, I would love that ticket. I would love